you can tell everybody. Yeah, you can tell everybody. Go ahead.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight we are in the lion's den, as you can see, with the lions eating up and talking about hard stuff. Now, tonight we are talking about violence against men. Are we being ripped apart as these cubs you can see over here, or are we doing the stuff that's not usually done? Now, I'm here with Isaac. Isaac, it's good to have you here again. It's always fun to be back here. Colin,
yes,
this is an unusual situation.
I know. I don't even know how you talk me. I don't know how you talk me into this.
Guys can let me play with them. I mean, I know it's mealtime for them. They look so cute. Now, guys, violence against men. All right. For the longest time, everybody's been talking about women and violence against women, but there actually are men who are suffering in silence, who are not as much as ease as these cubs behind me, which are ripping their meat apart. Do you think men are exposed? And I'll start with you, Isaac.
Yes, men are exposed. We are in a situation, we're living in a society where especially the women are economically empowered.
Yeah.
When you're economically empowered, you are basically bringing bread to the table at home. So you have all the power.
Yeah.
And in that case, it's hard to control you.
Yeah.
And you'd want me to actually bend down for you. So that's where the problem comes from.
So there's economic violence and there's physical violence.
Yes. Now that economic violence starts, and the next thing you get into is the physical violence. Because I have the money, I do whatever pleases me, and in a relationship, it's not going to work. The next thing is you could actually slap the man. Because he's not economically empowered. He doesn't have the cash.
I don't think it's completely outrageous to slap a man.
It's not fair.
No. Men have been slapping women for a long time.
Yes.
But sort of for me this has become very real because we're actually in a lioness's den. If you just look in the back, there's a lioness just
up and down.
And sort of so what has happened is the change in family setup. What that has done is it's given women a voice.
Yes.
And I think that even though tonight we're here to talk about violence against men, we have to talk about, I think that men are not taking their own medicine.
Yeah.
They've been given a ton of their own medicine and they're saying, this is too bitter, don't give us. And I think that in terms of like the show tonight, we sort of have to have that candid conversation of the tables have turned. For a long time, men were abusing women, when controlled women's destinies, they sort of dictated what women did and where the women went.
Yeah.
But what's happening is that the reverse of those roles. And in certain cultures, women, being the main providers and hard workers, are now taking charge of that, and they're not afraid.
But just hold on. If I may take us back, you talked about culture.
Yes.
In a lot of cultures across this good continent of ours, women were actually the providers.
Yes.
They're the ones who used to go out, they would work and all that. However, they would never take on men physically.
Yes, because men gave prestige and sort of social validation to the women. Continue.
Yeah.
And just like these guys, you see, it's the female that does the hunting.
Yes.
And when the kill is done, the man eats first.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, in our society, it's actually the other way around.
The man does the hunting.
Yes.
Yes.
But in a situation where the woman does the hunting, it's becoming a problem.
It becomes an issue.
Yeah, but so are you saying then that there's a societal challenge? Because you see, I think there's not
it's a societal evolution. So society is changing. It's not a challenge. I think it's changing, and people are not changing with it. People's views.
Yeah.
So people are saying,
still stuck
I
in the
marry a
past.
wife, so I'm supposed to be the head of house.
Yeah.
But the woman is saying, look here, you went to school, I went to school.
Yeah.
Why if I'm earning money and you're earning money, why do I have to take care of the children and you don't? And they're asking those questions. And I think society is not yet ready to answer those questions.
And the Western influence, you can't really, when talking
Face
about
that, in the age of the internet.
Exactly. We are trying to copy what is happening in the West.
Yes.
And as Colin did say, we are not yet ready for that. But
Yep, I hear you. But can we then now blame men for the situation that we're in? Because the truth be told, a lot of men are also negating on their duty.
they are lazy men, yes. I agree with that.
Being protectors, being providers,
exactly.
Yes.
and looking for an easy
Shortcuts,
way out.
yes.
True.
And we talk about this a lot on the show. Those boys who are the two-thirds and they mooch off of women who are successful.
Yeah.
And because of boys like that, women feel like they can now be very demanding about what they want their money to do. It says, if I'm paying your rent and I'm giving you airtime, why aren't you back home by 8 p.m.?
Yes.
And
The sugar mommy thing,
Yes.
which is really
Yes.
coping up in our society, is
Yes.
really
And being more allowed, if I may put it that way.
yes.
But no, I'll tell you what, guys. We're in a situation which is unique.
yeah.
Because we're going down a certain trend, and it doesn't look as if it's going to get any better.
No.
Reason being, we're in a very selfish society where somebody says, "I don't care what people think about me.
Yes.
You want to call me a lazy man, you want to call me a useless man.
As
that's
long
your
as
business."
I'm
Yep.
eating
As
and I'm
long as
sleeping.
I am eating, just
driving
like
a Porsche car.
I'm having my fair share.
Yes.
I don't care, you know. But then at the same time, women are the same ones who are saying they want men to behave like men.
Yeah.
But they're not giving men a chance to do that.
Of course, a man is supposed to provide for the family.
Yeah.
Now, if you're not providing, it's the other opposite sex providing. What do you expect? If if a woman marries a young man,
Yeah.
and let's say the woman is in the 40s, this man is in the 20s.
Yes.
And
What
it's
do you
happening
expect?
more and more these days.
It's happening. So I have my money. I'm actually investing in you. I want to take care of my investment.
Yes.
So in a situation where I have to check your phone, I need to know
Yeah.
which chick are you,
Yes. If I bought the phone
I
anyway,
bought the phone.
why should I? Why
I
do you have
actually even
password
put
in your phone?
bundles
Yes.
for you. What are you hiding from me?
Yes.
So are we then saying that the main challenge is economic? So for
Number
as long
one.
as a man is empowered
I think
economically,
yes.
a woman can't slap him around.
I think that the challenge is women are waking up.
Yeah.
So it's not economic. They're waking up socially. A woman may not have more money than you, but she'll just simply say to you, you can't just come out here and beat me. I was in the farm the whole season. I grew the maize. I sold the maize. You've come. You've taken the money.
Yep.
My children can't go to school
Because
because you're
you-
out there in the trading center drinking.
Yeah.
And I think on a certain level that needed to stop before, but we
Yes.
didn't have a way of stopping it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the efforts that are being done by NGOs and the change of society, that evolution, where women are saying, no, you can't do that. I think that that's an important conversation. Yes, I think that that's critical to have, because it doesn't just redistribute power.
Yeah.
It says to men, change, evolve or perish. And I think just like the lions have over 1,000 years,
Yeah.
you evolve. And men must be willing to say, all right, I'm not willing to give away the power completely, but I will work harder. I will try and understand the situation.
And there are very few men out there that are actually disciplined, I would say.
Yeah.
Because I want to respect, out of respect for my wife, for my spouse. Even if you abused me, I would go with it. But there are times when women take it for granted
Yes.
and take advantage of that. Because if you picked up a fight with a woman, I'm sure in most cases the man would win.
Yeah.
But that would be nasty. So there are those disciplined, well brought up men
Yeah.
that women take advantage
So,
of.
but what happened to partnerships? I mean, there's been a situation where, all right, I mean, I'm bringing something to the table.
Yes.
My wife is bringing something to the table. So we understand each other. We understand who's supposed to be doing what. So that in that case, I respect her. She respects me also.
Yes.
Because is that being eroded?
Yeah, the respect part, at one time, yes, it's being eroded,
Yeah.
definitely. Just, it's very hard. I've always told and heard from friends, it's very hard sometimes
Yeah.
to take care of or to control a woman that is economically empowered, that has her money.
So I have a problem with this mentality.
She does the rules.
The
She will-
idea that you need to control a woman.
Not controlling,
She has
per se.
brains.
Yes.
She's a member. So you see now, it almost goes back to what you were saying.
Yes.
What about the partnership? So you're not controlling her, but you're in one household. You're together in one house. Why would you then feel like you need to control her? Why can't you just say to her, look here, we're doing this thing together.
Yes.
Don't in Uganda it says don't piss away. Don't treat me badly.
Yeah.
And I think it's because men are used to ordering instead of negotiating, and I think that's a conversation.
Yeah.
Because if you've always just said, like the lion, if you always just say give me food and you get food,
Yeah.
then you will never understand what it means to negotiate and say, okay, you know what, I'll compromise here and you compromise there. And I think that's an important skill set.
the issue of compromising.
Yes.
You know, is it because I know every relationship is a matter of give and take.
Yes,
Give
it is.
But then, shouldn't it be because the reality is, even if this woman earns more than you,
Yeah.
you're with her because she needs something from you, and you need something from her. So, isn't it meant to be in a situation where you are both working together to, you know, to make a better life for your family and yourself?
In reality,
Yeah.
the current Uganda, the Uganda we live in, or the African traditional society, call
Yeah.
it, I don't think the issue of partnership in relationship does work.
Yeah.
Because, just tell me, do you share your password to your bank account? Do you
Actually-
declare how much money you
Actually,
earn, and
I
do you
have-
budget?
We budget together.
We budget together.
Now,
you are the
now-
exception now.
nowadays,
No, no,
you
no.
want always like this.
No, I'll tell
Because
you
now
what.
you have
I'll tell you-
wisdom. You're no longer young and
see,
foolish.
I'll tell you what. One of the things which a lot of people also don't, and I've
Yes.
said it before on
Uh-huh.
this show, the easiest way to have a very peaceful marriage
Is being open.
yes, let her know how much you earn.
Yes.
Let her know, because you see, women have this ability to figure out. She would look at the clothes you wear. She doesn't know if you've gotten them on Banja.
Yep.
She looks at the car you drive. She doesn't
True.
know whether it's a loan from
True.
the bank.
Yep.
She looks at every single thing and
Yep.
then makes a budget for it.
Yes.
So that is one of the things we're saying. Now we're here in the Lions Den with Isaac, who has been gracious enough to bring us right in here with these little
At
fellows.
the Uganda Wildlife Education Center.
Yes, here at the
Yes.
Uganda Wildlife Education Center. And we're here with these little creatures which are enjoying a very, very nice meal. Are you like them? Are you able to share with your wife? Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after the break as we talk about men and violence. Welcome back to the show. In case you've just joined us, you have missed the first segment when we were in the Lion's Den and we are talking about violence against men. And as we can see, we've got our two good guys behind here. The dude is also being a bit aggressive. I think it's about food. So when a man is hungry, he can become a problem. True or false? Now, Banji, welcome to the show. You missed in the Lion's Den.
Yeah.
It was pretty intense, pretty exciting. But and basically what we're just simply talking about was the fact that a lot of people are in this situation where they are in because they are not economically empowered, they suffer because the women are more economically powered than them. Right? So it's according to Colin, and I stand to be corrected, that kind of makes women become more aggressive. Because they've got the money, they start calling the shots, and because the guy is on the back foot, he can't say anything. So Isaac said there are two types of violence. There's economic violence and physical violence. So you can get slapped both ways. Is that a reality?
Yeah, it is a reality. The challenge, if I pick from what Isaac said, because he said there is economic violence and then physical.
And the third one is psychological.
Yeah. But now you see there is psychological, but also there is also sexual.
Yes.
Sexual abuse, where actually the lady will either not give it to you, or if she gives it to you, it's her own way.
Yeah.
Yes, you
On her
don't on her terms, you don't bring in an input. So and this is very, very real.
Yeah.
You can put in, but you have no input.
No, you are just there as an object, not
okay.
a participant.
Of desire.
An object of desire, but nothing much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Colin, you said he reflected on the issue of power.
Yeah.
Okay, but I also want to reflect on the issue of society, of the African context, where the man, however much violence he gets, most likely he will not report because it's shameful. It's shaming. And you know, the man, the macho man, is expected, the patriarch of the family. How do you report that you are being clobbered by your wife? It's a sign of weakness.
Yes, but also that's how we've been conditioned.
Yes.
We've been conditioned that men cannot seek for help.
Yeah.
They cannot talk about discomfort or abuse that they're facing. And so because that's the conditioning, it then feeds into what Banji is saying. If a man, when you go to police, I mean, there are so many stories of people who say, policemen are laughing at you. She did what? She beat you? How?
Yeah, man.
Yes. So, and so because of the fear of being laughed at or sort of looked down upon in society, men end up not reporting this.
Yeah, and you know, I tried to look up the statistics, see how many men have reported. Most of the statistics we have is 63% of women have been abused.
Yes.
On men, it is silent. I tried to look at U-Boss, I looked at, actually the only statistics I picked was about Ministry of Health, because men report for treatment these injuries. And also they are few. The percentage is very few. And actually the report was talking about northern Uganda. But generally in Uganda you will not get these kinds of statistics. But also I have a friend who went to report to police and told the man, the police officer who was recording at the counter, my wife has been beating me. The man said, you, don't ashame us. Go home and manage it.
Yes.
Yeah. So there is a lot of ignorance about violence against men.
I think so. I agree. And there's ignorance, but also there is. So one, there is the cultural shaming around it, but then there is ignorance around the channels, because the same statutes that protect women against violence and abuse also are the same ones that protect men. But people don't know, how do I approach it and how do I move on from it? Because you see, after you've been beaten, or if you're in a house where you've not had sex in a year, people have started denying you food. The psychological torture of that, how do you then move on from there?
But then, could that be then a problem of men? Because we are not able to talk to our peers. Because I should be in a situation where I should be able to come to you guys and say, guys, this is the situation. I have not eaten at home for the last 2 days, and when I come home late, I'm being hammered at the door. I am suffering from sexual violence because I may not be in the mood. Okay, and
two issues here. There are those people that will open up. But when you open up, what kind of advice, what kind of counseling are you going to get? Because in most cases, some of the advices we get from our peers are not constructive. So and there are not so many men that will sieve that and say, okay, this is the advice, I need to take this stand. So it's
and you see,
in the end, you get that advice, it may end up spoiling the relationship. Because one, divorce, get another woman. Why would you stand that?
There are so many fish in the sea.
Exactly.
So and you see, I want to pick from Isaac's argument. There is also sometimes there's what we call the psychology of the victim and the perpetrator. Now, once the woman begins to meant violence to the man, the theory of violence is that there's what we call the victim tries to submit to the perpetrator, because now it has become a power issue. They try to submit in hope that they are pleasing the perpetrator. So they will submit year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, or day 1, day 2, and then it becomes a routine. Once it becomes a routine, the man just becomes submissive. They just present themselves to be preyed on, and it becomes a very big challenge. And again, when you talked about the advice, it's what I call the practice approach. The practice approach, if you look around government and NGOs who are handling issues of violence, they are more concerned about women. So the men who have been a forgotten lot. So we have to change in terms of practice. Okay, we have to change in terms of practice, and we have to know that the men also suffer. And so we need also a concerted campaign. The way it is being done for women, it should be done for men.
But I think I wanted to sort of just bring up something, Banji, and we said it in the Lions Den there when we were talking about the fact that so we need a campaign. But men also need to evolve, because you see, for a long time, so we're going through a power shift. And unfortunately, in this new dispensation, men do not have the negotiation skills to negotiate safe sex, or to negotiate, matters when they are not in power. That's a result of, they always thought they would be in power, but now all of a sudden they're finding themselves with the ground is shifting under your feet, but you don't know how to negotiate and say, how can I get a better deal out of this?
But should it be a negotiation?
I think
it's a partnership. It's a partnership. So partnerships are about compromise and negotiation.
I think the men who are victims, or even those who are not yet victims, because now we are all potential victims. We are men, and we have women.
But you're also talking with a lot of experience. Are you suffering silently?
No, not yet. Not yet.
But because soon to suffer.
I hope I never suffer.
But potential.
Every man here is a candidate, and every man out there viewing is a candidate. But it's like Colin said. Now, men, we are stepping on slippery ground. You know, when you find yourself in a new situation, it's like you said you are in the lion's den.
Yeah.
If you gave that lion eggs, it may not eat them the first time.
You mean it'll be a slippery
It
situation
doesn't.
for
Yes,
him?
it is a slippery situation for him. He doesn't understand the eggs. Yet the eggs can nourish his body. So even the men, that's where we have reached. So when violence is meant against you, first of all you begin asking yourself question: do I report? If I am to report, how do I report? How do I handle this? Because you've been used, as Colin said, being on top.
Yes.
Now all of a sudden someone is stepping on you.
Yes.
So we need to evolve and develop ways of dealing with it. Of dealing with it.
Just imagine a scenario in our society. If you're walking on Kampala roads and there are two scenarios. One, a man beating a woman. Do you know how many people will respond?
Yes.
And they do it the other way around.
A woman.
A woman beating a man.
People will respond, only that they'll respond with their phones.
They will come and
Yeah,
watch.
yeah,
To take
yes.
pictures. Actually, they will come and watch.
But in most cases, if it's a man
Oh, they'll
beating
Yes.
a
They
woman,
will intervene.
the man would receive the harsh
But,
punishment.
but I think that's because our society is conditioned sort of. There's been so much messaging, so much effort around stopping this kind of behavior that we're now preconditioned to sort of intervene and then sort of stand back and laugh when men are at a disadvantage.
Yeah. You know, Peter, the challenge of practice as practitioners in these areas of violence is that when we develop practices to solve one problem, we tend to create another problem.
Yes.
Unintended problem, which we call really it is not what we wanted, because now the woman has been given the tools to fight this kind of violence. Yeah. So when they fight, and then for us practitioners, we assist them, we empower them they can solve these issues. Then we are forgetting the man. Now when the man becomes the victim, as we have been saying, he does not know where to start from.
Question: is it a problem about upbringing? Is it the kind of thing, because I was brought up and I was told that first of all a man should not fight with a woman, and then because there are some people who are naturally aggressive, just like the lionesses that we saw in the lion's den. Now, if you have this woman who is extremely aggressive, how are you supposed to deal with her? Don't answer that question. Yes, you'll answer it as soon as we get back from the break. Now, we are here at the Uganda Wildlife Education Center, right outside Rhino's Pen,
Yes.
with
By the
two
way,
southern white rhinos, which
Beautiful
are an
ones.
endangered species, but they're here with us, courtesy of Uganda Wildlife Education Center. These are animals that you need to come and see, because the only way you really believe them is if you see them. We'll be right back after the break. Welcome back from the break. In case you've just joined us, we're in for the third and final segment of the show that's talking about violence against men. Now, a lot of men are, okay, I don't know if they're a lot because we don't have much statistics as Banji mentioned, but there are men who suffer from violence meted to them against women. Do they have a place to talk about it? The truth be told, no they don't. Now, the number just keeps growing. Josh. Hi. Good to have you here. Now, when we went into the break, we noticed with the two rhinos behind us, which are the southern white rhinos, the lady rhino, if there's anything like that, actually ate and sent the guy packing to the other side until it had eaten enough, is when it told it to come. Now, is this happening to a lot of men?
Well, yeah, and I was listening to him. I'll start with the statistics right away.
Yeah.
About 36 of men
Yeah.
are undergoing through this.
36%.
Yes,
of men.
and I do not want to say that you don't have where to report.
Yeah.
You do, but then when we are nurtured, as we grow up, I have a little soldier at home, but every time he cries, I tell him you're a man, and you're not supposed to cry.
Tough
See?
enough.
Yes. So the way we are nurtured, men are not given a platform to come out and like openly say what they're going through.
Yeah.
And when it comes to violence, it has a lot. It's not just domestic violence, as you're saying.
Yeah.
There are many that are under that. Just because you cannot speak, and you can, but the fact that you're a man and you fear how the other one say, and even your peers, by the way.
Do you practice that at home?
Violence or what?
No, I don't. But this is reality. I'm telling you, this is reality. Like I say, many things are just under domestic violence. I could, maybe I don't have to beat you. Like, you know, I don't have to beat you. My culture, men are never beaten. You see, that is my culture.
But psychologically,
I can do it. I can go silent. I can change bedrooms, you know. That is already violence on its own. The fact that when you come back home and I am married to you, okay, at the end of the day, we have to be in bed together, right? But if I do not offer that, that is already violence on its own. You may fear to talk about it because, you know, your peers are going to be like this and that behind your back. That's why sometimes men tend to keep quiet. But honestly, they're suffering in there. They're really, really, really suffering.
And you know, Peter, to pick it from Josh's argument about the bed, there was some guy. He was there posing, and in fact he was the one violent towards the woman. So one time she's like, how do I really bring this guy down? So she told him, we've been married for 11 years, I've been faking it. You actually have been doing nothing. Now you're here beating me to feel big. The man just sat down.
That was it.
He said, what, 11 years of hard work, night shift, I have done nothing.
And morning shift.
And the man was psychologically tortured, you know, until after a number of years when the woman said, I also was getting back at you. So it is not necessarily the physical beating. Sometimes you will make your money and someone just wastes it away.
Question. Can we sometimes say that men bring these things on themselves?
Yes.
I think no. I think that society has brought this on men. Society has empowered women and not prepared men for empowered women. So it has left men. Imagine if you were Kabira, the female rhino, and you're just being fed super growth hormone and special nutrient, and Sherino, the male rhino, is not getting anything. So what society has done is it's prepared women, empowered them, made them faster, more adaptable, more present. But it has left men in that static space, and therefore forcing men to become an outdated version, not able to compete in a modern society.
But how about?
I think before you come, there was a time I said that the African man, the challenge of empowerment is that the African man has remained in the colonial times. Yes, has remained
with the same mentality, the same goals,
the same mentality, the same goals, the same way of doing things. But for the woman, it has
society sympathizes with women.
Yes, this is exactly what I wanted to say. And I'm sorry, but I have to be straight with this. When it comes to these NGOs, governments, and whatever, it is all about girl child, girl this, women that. Now we are forgetting the men. Like he said, we prepare our girls to be good wives at home in future, and then we forget the men. So after being nurtured to be good wives at home, the NGO world and whoever comes in to empower the women, which is good, but then they are forgetting the role. So I am empowered to shut you down, okay? I am empowered to deny you sex, and we are married, okay? I am empowered to do anything that I think makes me a woman. And so in the end, men no longer exist, and you'd always hear women say, I can be there without a man.
You see before you come in, you ask the question, do men bring violence onto themselves?
Some men do need to be willing to shave.
Some men need to be given a position.
Now,
you come back home every day after midnight.
Yes, that's
exactly what we are talking about.
And it's then that it is Kabira.
It's the female
who is aggressive. So the point I want to refer, do men bring it to themselves? And I want to go back to where
he brought it on himself. I mean,
no, but he's just sharing. And where I'm taking it from is the fact that she said the woman is being empowered, and the man is being left behind. So you know, when it comes to violence, you could just be seated doing your thing, but because the other person, they have power, they will also tell you,
and misuse it.
You because I mean, now they can suppress you.
Now the word you're looking for. Now they can chokoza you.
Yes, they can chokoza you. Seriously, because they have the tools.
But
They have to Peter, just a bit, because there's also this tendency of our men nowadays no longer want to work, you know. They want to have a six-pack, but they do not have the money, and they want to fall in love with women.
A broke six-pack. Someone once said this on the show. A broke six-pack is useless.
Yes, so this woman will have to do anything with you after all. What a six-pack without anything. You know,
so
we're forgetting the roles of
remember,
a man
that's what
in
we
the
were
house.
discussing in the Lions Den earlier.
Yes.
Are we then saying that it's all about money? So all men should focus on is money. So if I have money, then as a woman you cannot tell me anything.
Like I said earlier, you know, violence, domestic violence has a lot underneath. It's not only about money, but just imagine, Peter, you are there, you don't have a job, I go and work, you remain home seated, and then, I mean, I'm doing everything. At the end of the day, there is no way you're going to even ask me, Josh, where are you from?
But you people, wait, I want to just sort of go back to the question, what Peter was saying.
That is not necessarily that.
No, because you can have money. You can be a pastor who's making money, and the Rolex seeker is still out there pummeling your wife.
Yeah, because you're busy doing.
So you see, focusing on money isn't going to solve it, because there are other ways that someone can actually abuse you.
But I think that women become aggressive.
You see,
because they have money.
Yeah, you see Isaac, just a minute.
Yes, please.
You see, what has happened is that the roles of the women have kind of shifted. Okay, and with the shifting roles comes shifting responsibilities. So you find that you no longer have certain responsibilities. Because previously, Peter, when you return home, it would be madam to say, give me money for hair,
for bread, for milk.
For milk. But now even if you don't open your wallet, you will find food at home. So how dare you ask that there is no enough sugar in this tea?
You didn't buy
Which sugar? Then she will say, but you didn't buy sugar. Which sugar are you talking about? Then the whole scenario starts from there.
That's the real point.
Yes.
There is a lot of violence, especially among career women. Because in this case, I mean, you're working, you have a late shift, or you live on the plane and I'm at home. Both of us could be working, but maybe your work demands that you even take a long time at work compared to me. But we both work. In this case, you come back home and don't you know I'm from work, I'm tired. Why don't you do it?
No, it's not about I am tired, because at the end of the day,
That's
as a woman on this show,
I'm going to have to first of all just give you a slight pause there, because I hate saying this, but we reached that point when
you don't
you're such
a liar.
I'll call these guys on you. I'm telling you.
You always lie. I hate
What I
saying
need
this.
you to do in your parting shot, just one thing that men can do.
One thing.
Yes. Everybody's going to give us one thing that men can do to avoid violence against them. Your thoughts. That's your parting shot.
okay, I'll be number one in this. Respect. We all deserve respect. Me as a woman in the house, and then the man. I should know his position. He should know my position. Period.
Great stuff. Manji, your parting shot.
I am this conservative African man, and I believe, however rich my wife is, however educated she is, I should remain the supreme. Remaining supreme in the family doesn't necessarily mean I will become a dictator. Okay, even with the democracy, I should still remain in charge of the presidency. So my presidency can be democratic, but I should remain the president. The moment you allow your power to be then you are gone. So men, first of all, retain your power, but then use it positively. As the roles change, okay, you also shift the power. If she has money, give her certain powers, okay, so that you maintain this harmony, okay, because the biggest reason why this violence is meted on men is once you lose your power, then you want to punch and get it back, and sometimes that's where the problem starts. So try and retain your power no matter the circumstances, but then you can shift your power within the roles of the family.
Great stuff. Colin, what can men do?
Take it like a man. No. So seriously, and I've said this, and people think it's contrarian, but again, I don't think that what Banji is saying is possible. If the land under a guy's feet is shifting, he does not have if he's too lazy to work and make money, you can't say to him now he has to be hardworking enough to negotiate and keep his power. He has no power. So I think, I mean, there's a real conversation we have to have as a society about where we're going, about the family household, and it's okay to say it's changing, but it's also important for us to talk about equipping men with negotiation skills, and saying to women that you might be on top today, but in another 40 years, who knows? You know, so you don't know where it goes, and again, it's like those people who you went to school with who used to have conflicts, but now in the real world, they're always eating Rolex.
Yes.
So it's just men were on that side, they were eating cornflakes, now they're eating Rolex. Yes. And just sort of said to the women that don't worry, things will change again. But now that you're on top, be kind, be gentle, sort of just don't over enjoy. Yeah. Because things will change.
All right, great stuff. Isaac, we're going to end with you.
Yeah. In my view, it's about dialogue. Yeah. Knowing your boundaries, but also knowing your duties and responsibilities in a relationship. If you could master those, then the violence will be no more. But where we go wrong is we don't have dialogue, and you think, yes, in this relationship you are maybe the omega or something like that, and in this case you don't know even your boundaries in a relationship as a wife, as a husband, in a home. You even don't know the boundaries. You have no respect for each other. That's going to be a problem. It will lead into violence. Before you know it, it's a divorce.
And this is very small. Like you said, you know, where we are going wrong and why we are having violence, and in this case I want to say both men and women. The reason is we are failing to know who we are. And then the other thing, we go into relationships, we get married because my friend has got married, and we do not have goals. We do not talk about opinions, our own opinions, but rather we talk about Arsenal, Manchester City, and then the goals of other people. It is very
you mean Cristiano Ronaldo goal?
Exactly. We forget we, and
before
then
you come in.
Arsenal and she's better now. It's even worse.
Yes, as a professional, my argument is, if you are a man and you are, suffering violence, please seek help. Don't suffer.
Yeah, talk to someone.
Seek help. Yeah. Wherever you will get it, go for it.
So, now we're here at the Uganda Wildlife Education Center, wrapping up the show that has been talking about violence against men. If you're a man out there who is experiencing violence, just as Banji has said, seek help. Talk to your peers. Go talk to your religious leaders.
Reach out to us.
Reach out to us on through our Facebook page. We can definitely be able to help you and make sure you get sorted. Have a good night. God bless. Take care of yourselves. And from us here at the Uganda Wildlife Education Center.